The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Making real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in all 50 states. You get $20 free with promo code SGPN. That is Kalshi, promo code SGPN. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no voice, no guy. It's me, really Rob Furman, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Handle business in the NBA tonight. Nuggets, Pistons over. Cashes as we have a bunch of points in that game. And then the Atlanta Hawks. Line moved too. I think they closed plus 1.5. I got them at plus 4.5 last night, plus 155 on the money line. Ka-ching, as they beat the Miami Heat. Miami Heat is a favorite. You should know. Never to back that ever. And yeah, now we're here. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, good. Can't complain. Happy to be back on the show. A lot of stuff happened today. I would say the games themselves weren't very good, but nobody cares because there were a bunch of trades that happened, which we'll talk about in a second. But overall in the NBA, pretty interesting day. Utah basically sat their entire team, and Collier played a full 48 minutes, and he had 17 and 22. So shout out to Collier there. Besides that, the Knicks won by 1 million. The Lakers won by 1 million. The Bucks won by a bunch. The Thunder won by a bunch. Not many close games today, besides the Nuggets and Pistons game. But once again, I feel like games were secondary today because we still have the trade deadline approaching, and we've seen a couple of moves already.
Yeah, we have, and a lot to get to before we get to the game. So let's just go ahead and talk about them. Work backwards here. We have James Harden traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Los Angeles Clippers get Darius Garland and a second-round pick in that. So essentially, they traded James Harden for Darius Garland straight up. So, Scott, the Cavs now have two players that don't show up in the playoffs. So is that a bad thing, or is that like now a positive because we had two negatives and they cancel each other out?
See, here's the interesting part about the trade as a whole, because I think we're going to address the same point. You just did it in a different way. We don't think this moves the needle that much for Cleveland. I think we're going to start there. I'm not going to claim that the Cavs are now a serious contender because they traded for post-prime James Harden. Now, when you're talking about playoff droppers, we know that, of course, Harden's definitely one of them. Then again, I can't think of a single memorable Garland playoff moment in my entire life. So I don't actually know if that matters too much because Garland's had a toe injury for about a year. He's barely played the season. He's missed half the games. And Garland this year is making $39 million. Next year, $42 million. Year after, $44 million. I don't want to pay Darius Garland that much money when he barely plays any games. Now, James Harden, even though he might not show up in the playoffs, at least he shows up physically to the arena. And I cannot say the same thing about Darius Garland. At least James Harden plays games. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make. You could argue that it doesn't move the needle at all. I do like the fact, in general, that Cleveland recognized the team wasn't good enough, and at least they tried to do certain things. They got rid of Hunter. They got back Schroeder. They got Keon Ellis. They got James Harden. At least they're not complacent. At least they were willing to try to reinvent their roster to make themselves better. Is it enough to move a needle? Probably not. But if I had to ask you right now, would you rather have Darius Garland or James Harden? Who would you take? I'd probably take James Harden, even though all of his flaws are well documented. And you know I'm not a fan of James Harden. But but I think he's a better player than Darius Garland. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think he is.
I don't think the move's that big of a deal because I don't think it makes the Cavaliers a title contender, but I do think they got better in theory on paper. And you could argue that, playoff drop or this playoff drop or that. Cleveland's been tracking to be a first-round elimination team all season long anyway. So I'm not going to roast Harden for making the team worse in the playoffs when this team was basically a dead team walking for the entire season. Do we agree on that?
Yeah.
So I don't think that really matters, but I think Cleveland got better right now, and I think that's the most important thing. So I think Cleveland, in my opinion, improved their current team. Then again, we'll see how much money Harden's going to get paid. So that might be an issue there too. It's why it's tough to fully evaluate the trade because it does depend on how much Harden's going to get once he signs the extension with Cleveland. But I think he's objectively a better basketball player than Darius Garland. So from that perspective, I understand what Cleveland did.
I think it's interesting. Darius Garland has only played 70 games in a season once in his career.
That's what I'm saying. So, yes, Harden might not show up in the playoffs, but at least he shows up physically for regular season games.
Yeah.
At least he plays. That counts for something, doesn't it?
Now that I think about it, Darius Garland does never play basketball.
No.
Wow.
So
Like,
you could argue that Harden
50
mentally no-shows, but at least he actually, for a guy getting paid that much money, at least he plays more often than not.
I mean, shoot, even in the COVID season, he still played 59 games. And
Yeah.
I mean, after that, you had 54, 68, 69, 57, 75, and then he's played 26 games this season.
And even when he plays, by the way, do you think Garland's been good this season?
No.
Of course not. So I get the move. I get why the Clippers did it too, because Harden wants a bunch of money and he's older, and you want to trade for a younger player. Then again, you've actually been a very good basketball team for the last 2-3 months, and now Harden immediately quit on the team and wanted out. So we'll see what the Clippers do from here. But we knew long-term the Clippers weren't a real threat either. So they wanted to get younger, and they decided we're not going to pay Harden because he's older, and they moved on. So I get the move for both teams. I think Cleveland personally won the trade in the short term, but I don't think it moves the needle for either team. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Agreed. Cleveland technically won, but doesn't move the needle at all.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Next up. All right, we've got the Chicago Bulls. They were active today. The first trade we'll talk about is Anthony Simons being traded to the Chicago Bulls plus a second-round pick for Nikola Vucevic and a second-round pick. So a couple exchanging of second-round picks. Anthony Simons over to the Bulls. Celtics get Vucevic. Doesn't do anything for the Celtics defensively against the center position, but now they do get some inside scoring with Vucevic and the ability to be able to step out and hit those threes. Anthony Simons, the Bulls just continue to just stack up on guards that can still play ball and not play defense. And so, I mean, I see what the Celtics are going for, but defensively it doesn't solve their problems.
Is it fair to compare Anthony Simons to Kobe White?
Yeah.
So I think they're trading Kobe White. So I think it basically is just swapping in a replacement. That's kind of how I look at it. But the Bulls have been involved a bit. We're going to mention a trade they were also involved in a second. But look, do I like Vucevic as a player? Meh. I think that he's got offensive talent. I think that he's an abysmal defensive player. But I think he's a good rebounder. So that kind of helps.
I mean, his prime is behind him.
Correct. But I think Boston looked at the roster and said, we think Cade is pretty good. We can use him in certain lineups defensively. But offensively, he's limited. And if you want to space the floor, and you want Mazzulla's teams to shoot 50 pointers a game, then suddenly you have perfect spacing because you have Vucevic who can shoot from the outside. Do I think it does really anything for the Celtics long term? We'll see. I mean, if Tatum doesn't come back this season, they're not winning anything anyway. We'll see how it works out. But I understood the move for both teams. I mean, Chicago is taking flyers on about 45 different guards on their roster. So I don't really know what the Bulls are doing, but they're definitely tanking. As for the Celtics, look, they want to be competitive, but we'll see when Tatum's coming back. So they got better. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make. But I think we'd agree Boston's main issue at this point in time was the center position. So at least they addressed it, and we'll go from there. But I didn't really think much of this trade. It was kind of one of those like, oh, that's interesting. And then I immediately moved on with my life. The next trade we're going to talk about I thought was the most fascinating out of the three. This was the least fascinating out of the three. I just didn't really care. Is that a fair cop-out answer? Like, Vucevic going to the Celtics just didn't grab me. It just wasn't something I was really
No, I get what the Celtics are going for. I just don't think that they when they realize they didn't achieve it at all with Vucevic, I think that they'll regret. Well, not necessarily regret the trade because I mean it's just Anthony Simons, but like they'll realize this isn't as good as they think it is. Like I think there's a fan base that's like, we got Vucevic, this is the piece we needed. No, I think they're going to be the exact same that they were when they were playing with Anthony Simons.
I think it was just center depth. They just said, look, Kata's good defensively, but offensively he's got problems. We want other options. So now they have one. Now, I don't know if you want to trade for Vucevic's contract to platoon him with Kata, but Boston likes a lot of options and a lot of depth. So I understand the move from that perspective. But do I like Vucevic as a player?
No.
Not really. So I'm kind of just lukewarm on it. I don't really care.
He'll give him a good 18.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll have a big game and stuff like that, and sometimes you can't play him. So they'll just go from there.
It'll be solid. Like, it'll be solid. It's just, I don't think that they're a better team now. No.
Do we agree, though, that the trade that we did not mention yet was the most fascinating out of the three?
I've got 4. I got 2 more trades that I'm talking about.
I'd say the main one involving 2 teams that we didn't exactly expect.
Oh,
it was the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade.
No. Yeah,
I think that one was the most fascinating out of the...
Actually, I'm kind of lukewarm on that as well, but we'll get to it. We're still talking about the Bulls here because the Bulls did also make another 3-team trade where the Chicago Bulls received Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley. So they have received Anthony Simons, Jaden Ivey, and Mike Conley all in one day. The Pistons.
For the record, Conley might not stay with the team. So they got Conley by name. He might not play a game for them. But anyway.
Pistons get Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric. Saric's been on the move. And the Wolves get a first-round pick swap. So, one, hopefully this means good things for Rob Dillingham. I mean, I like it for the Pistons because if Huerter can come in and do his job, then that helps. You kind of wanted to get the ball out of Ivy's hand.
They also got a first-round pick out of it.
For the Bulls, like I said, I guess the Bulls, like you said earlier, I think the Bulls are just throwing a bunch at the wall and seeing what sticks, and then they'll come back and reevaluate this next year. But
I don't treat the Bulls as a serious franchise, so I never try to predict what the logic is behind their moves. I mean, it could be worse. At least you're not Sacramento. But the ownership is in the same type of caliber where it feels like they're just doing either the 2K Trade Finder feature back in the old like franchise modes, or it's just like a magic 8-ball. And they're like, should we trade for this guy? Sure. Like, I'm not trying to piece together anything logically for what the Bulls are doing. I like the move for Detroit. I'm not sure if Huerter's going to work out or not, but I think they needed more shooting, and I think they can give them that. Ivy, I think we'd agree, for better or worse, was not working out with Detroit, and they needed to move on. I like the move for the Pistons. Does it put them over the top? No.
And it sucks because he was playing so good before his injury.
Yeah.
It was like came back from the injury and it just didn't click.
Yeah, but once again, I like the move for Detroit. I think for Minnesota, they got nothing back besides salary relief because they don't have to pay Mike Conley anymore. So a lot of people are speculating, including me, this is opening the opportunity up to make a Giannis pitch. And they now have more salary cap to manipulate to actually potentially acquire Giannis. So that's why the Timberwolves got nothing back in return. They got salary cap space from getting rid of Conley's contract, and maybe they have a chance at getting Giannis. So I can't grade the trade for Minnesota yet because I have to see what they do with this cap space. But that's why they were involved in the trade.
Yep. All right. Last trade. This was the one that really got the day going. The Memphis Grizzlies traded Jaren Jackson Jr., John Conchar, Jock Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. over to the Utah Jazz, who in return sent Walt Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang. Very funny, Georges Niang not playing games, getting traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. He's going to fit right in. And a 3 first-round picks. First-round
was
picks for
shocked
Utah are pretty
when this happened.
valuable. Pretty valuable.
This trade came out of nowhere, though. Harden was rumored for about a day or so. Vucevic has been on the shopping block for about, 2-3 years.
I mean, we knew
at this
Memphis
point.
was making a move of Jaren Jackson Jr. or Ja, and I think Ja got the headlines because it's Ja, but like Triple J was always. I mean, there's still a chance that they move Ja too. Like it seems like Memphis is blowing this thing up.
Yeah, it was more about destination. At no point did I assume Utah would be a buyer at the deadline. Like that part shocked me. I did not see that.
For years, we have talked about Utah being a seller and never selling. Being a seller, never selling. Now they're buying at the deadline. Very interesting tactic, I will say.
I'm going to ask, who do you think won the trade? Do you see the logic for both teams, or do you think that one team got the better of the deal?
No, because I just don't see it. I don't see it like coming into. Let me see which first round picks that they got. What years are that? I'm sorry, I don't see it right now for Utah. Like I think that it's all fun and games, like, you know, watching them, betting them right now, and like how this team finds a way to be relevant in terms of gambling, but like in actual NBA basketball, I don't think this is ever going to work out to a level that you're probably going to be happy with. And now you're mortgaging away the future for what? Like, what's the next move here? You're going to play this out? Keontae George, Ace Bailey, Laurie Markkinen, Jaren Jackson Jr., Walker Kessler. You're going to play that out? Because Walker Kessler is also coming up on a contract.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What's next for them is determining if they want to pay Walker Kessler or not.
I mean, they probably do. It sounds like that they're not going to. No, I'm pretty sure I saw something that said they don't intend on just letting him walk. Yes, so the Jazz trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. won't affect their long-term interest in Walker Kessler. So I guess that doesn't really say if they have long-term interest already or not. But like, there's a good chance that they run this with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Walker Kessler. You probably need to because Triple J is not going to rebound.
Yeah. For the record, I believe Triple J is averaging less than 5 rebounds per game.
Defensively, I think that's interesting on the inside, though. But like,
defensively, that's fantastic. If you get Jaren Jackson Jr. and Kessler together, you're going to be a nightmare defensively.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting. But like, so what do you think? Like, I mean, maybe he could be the piece missing, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm just saying Jaren Jackson Jr. was the piece missing for Utah to like make this big run, especially in this loaded Western Conference.
Yeah, look, I tweeted my grades for this. I gave Utah a C+. I gave Memphis an A. Initially, I thought it was closer, and then I actually thought about it. And I researched...
they have 5 first-round picks in this year and next year.
The Grizzlies got 7 first-round picks for Desmond Bane and for Jaren Jackson Jr., and I don't view either of them as an all-star caliber player. So I think Memphis did a phenomenal job rebuilding. They might have to give up a pick with Ja because of that contract and all, but either way, they did a good job in the rebuild. I love the move for Memphis. I think that Jaren Jackson Jr. has been an overrated player for a long time. I have never been a fan of his because he doesn't rebound the ball, and he's also he's like basically a fringe 7-footer who shoots below 50% from the floor. So I'm just not interested. He's not the type of center or forward that I would want on my team. I get what Utah's doing. They wanted to improve their overall, I'd say, talent. I just think that Jaren Jackson Jr. is still a talented player. I like the pairing with Walker Kessler if you sign him. But he's getting paid a ton of money, Jaren Jackson Jr., for a guy that I don't think is that great. I think he's fine. But if you want to pay him and Laurie and Keontae might get paid in the future, and you want to pay Walker Kessler a restricted free agency match sheet, you're paying a lot of money for a team in the Western Conference, which, by the way, is really, really good, and you might be a play-in team, as you said before. It's a lot for me to be a potential play-in team in the Western Conference. For Memphis, since I'm not a Jaren Jackson Jr. guy, getting 3 first-round picks for a forward who does not rebound the ball, I think is a phenomenal return on investment. So I gave Memphis an A. I think it's a very good trade for Memphis. For Utah, I get what they're doing. I'm happy that the fan base can finally see their team try to win games since Utah's been tanking for about 5 straight years. But I think that Memphis won the trade because I'm not a big Jaren Jackson Jr. guy. And as you said before, I think Utah right now is a playing team. For a lot of draft capital to be a playing team. That's kind of my point.
Like if you're mortgaging off the picks like that, you gotta like significantly make a jump. I don't think they significantly made a jump at all.
Yeah,
and I like
but
Utah.
That's my thoughts. I thought Memphis won the trade.
I'm a Utah fan on this show. It's pretty much, I agree with you. Memphis won. Interesting day. I had to look at my calendar. I was like, "Whoa, is today the trade deadline?" Like, very, very interesting day. Just feels like a snowball effect happened. Avo. Make more money betting sports with Avo. That's AVO, the best sports betting tool that helps you by spotting arbitrage and plus EV opportunities. They have the cleanest dashboard and super easy to understand and use. But they also teach you how to use it with step-by-step video guides and all of that. Plus, you have a free Discord for you, AVO Official on Discord. Get started right now at avo.bet. Use promo code SGPN for $18 off. That's avo.bet, promo code SGPN, $18 off. We're also brought to you by Kalshi. Real money prediction market legal in all 50 states. They have a bunch of trading options for the big game, including size, total props, halftime performance, all of that. And new Kalshi customers can get $20 when you use promo code SGPN. That is Kalshi, promo code SGPN. All right, Scott. Let's get into 7 games in the NBA here. First game we want to talk about on the docket, the Denver Nuggets, second leg of a back-to-back, going to play the New York Knicks. My New York Knicks. Knicks laying 4.5, 226.5 is the total. Injury report, and can't tell you anything for Denver. They have been pretty good about sitting people on the second leg of a back-to-back. So Christian Brown, who played tonight, 26 minutes, good chance he might not play. We'll see if Jamal Murray plays. He played 37 minutes. Jokic just came off an injury not too long ago. We'll see if he plays. He played 33 minutes. Peyton Watson played 38. He probably still plays.
Are you back in on your team, by the way? I know long-term maybe not, but your team is starting to actually play decent basketball. Then again, the schedule has been quite favorable. Yes, I know you beat the Lakers, and my team got curb stomped by them tonight, but we don't think the Lakers are very good. We think that they're a classic one-and-done playoff team. Mm-hmm. So do you like the Knicks again, or do you just think it's a good schedule for them at the right time?
Maybe a little bit mix of both. I always knew the Knicks would be solid in the regular season, and the question mark was what was going to happen in the playoffs, and I kind of already know what's going to happen in the playoffs now. So, I mean, if they win games, I'm not surprised, but I'm probably not picking them against the better teams of the league. Probably just the fodder.
Does this count for a back-to-back when Joker might not play? Does this count as one of the better teams?
Coaching.
I know you meant series, but we're talking about a one game here. But is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, coaching-wise, yeah. Coaching-wise, I think that they're probably one of the better teams because they've shown up in spots where, Jokic hasn't played, Jamal Murray hasn't played, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, all these guys, and they've still won and covered some of these games. Like, they've looked bad in some of those spots, but they've looked really good in some of those spots. So, Mitchell Robinson is going to be out or no questionable. He'll probably be a questionable because he didn't play today. So we'll see if Mitchell Robinson plays tomorrow. Josh Hart left the game in the third quarter, so we'll see.
He was also on triple-double watch, so that was unfortunate. He was cooking early in the game. He wouldn't have gotten there because they were up by 40, but still, he was playing very well early.
We got Deuce McBride was out, so he may be able to go. We'll see.
I'm gonna go Knicks in this game because Denver might sit some guys. I know Joker. I
Yeah,
don't
but
actually
Denver's
know.
been better on the second leg of a back-to-back, even though
No,
they
I
sit
know, but
people.
I'm a bit higher on what the Knicks have done lately than what you are, I'd say, mentioning because I think that they've actually played pretty well. Joker's come back and he hasn't played well. So even if he does go in this game, I know Cat one might be fish food for him. So maybe he just destroys Cat. But Joker's played 2 games and he's not been very good in either of them. So I don't think Joker's fully back to himself again. We'll see if Murray ends up playing. It's interesting for Joker though because I believe he can only afford to miss one more game for the rest of the entire season in order to like be
I mean, it's not
disqualified.
guaranteed he misses.
That's what I'm saying. My point is that I don't know if they can actually sit him if he wants to make an MVP case or an All NBA team because he might not qualify. So he might end up playing in this game, but he has not looked very good since coming back from injury. And I think the Knicks at home in general have been very solid in MSG. Maybe this is the Murray game where he goes all for 40. I mean, that's possible too. But I do think I'll go for the Knicks here. They're playing well. They got to sit all their starters in the fourth quarter. Denver couldn't do that because they were in a war and they lost, and now they're traveling from Detroit to New York. It's not a great spot. I'm just going to go Knicks minus 4.5.
He hasn't looked good with the exception to the 31-point game that he gave the Clippers because he hates the Clippers. But
Correct.
yes, outside of that, OKC, Detroit, it has not looked good.
I forgot he came back for that game. Yeah, the Thunder game and the Pistons game, he was not very good.
What I will say is that those two teams, I think, are better defensively than the Knicks. I think the Knicks have caught a soft part of the schedule, kind of playing up in those spots, but I like this Denver team. Second leg of back-to-back, 7-3 ATS. Knicks are 3-4 to the number on the second leg of a back-to-back. It doesn't matter who's out there for Denver. Dave Alderman's going to coach them up, and I think if they're able to score the basketball, then they're going to be in this game against the Knicks. So I'm gonna go with Denver plus 4.5.
I think it's the words that you always say. Close game, give me Brunson. I know Joker in close games is worth it too, but I mean, they still have a bunch of injuries. Aaron Gordon being out's a big deal. I think the Knicks are in a pretty good spot here, actually.
Yeah. All right. 226.5.
A lot of it comes down to who's playing for Denver, so I can't really answer this.
Yeah, you probably got to wait, but
I'll go over, but I don't have a strong opinion.
And they're in MSG. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver just goes ahead and plays some people. Give me over.
Yeah.
All right. Minnesota on the road going to play the Toronto Raptors. This is a half. Toronto laying a half, I see. Is that real? Yeah.
I saw it was 1.5, but you can probably find different numbers.
Looks like a few books have. Yeah, you could get 1.5. It's both ways. There's some books that have Minnesota laying 1, so it's split. Basically a pick 'em. Just shop your lines. 223.5 is the total. Well. Injury report.
By the way, I had 225.5 written down, so the line did move. It dropped 2 points over the last half hour.
Julius Randle is a questionable with that thumb injury. Anthony Edwards is also questionable with elbow soreness.
I'm assuming he's going to play, right? Well, actually, let me see if Durant's going to play in this game. Durant's probable. Oh, sorry, no, my bad. Whoops. I read Rockets. My bad. Sorry. Whoops.
Jakob Poeltl out.
Sorry about that. Well, Pirtle's missed a decent amount of time anyway. We don't mind it because we actually like Murray Boyles. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, when it gets to be spots like this is when Memphis picks up the win. When you get Memphis in these close.
You mean Minnesota?
Yeah, not Memphis. Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah. When you get Minnesota in these close, almost a dog spots, it's typically where they show up. When they're laying a whole bunch of points, that's where they let you down.
So I see free sauce in the comment section mentioning that he likes the Raptors money line because Minnesota is still experimenting with their roster. Yeah, for the next couple of days, I agree with that premise. I'm avoiding all Minnesota games until about 5 minutes before tip-off. Because if I think that the Connolly trade was solely to set up a potential Giannis move,
There could
they're
be the
clearly
day
not done by the trade deadline.
that you bet Memphis. I'm not Memphis. Like, oh my gosh, I can't get Memphis out of my head. The day that you bet Minnesota and thinking that you have a layup, and then you find out, oh, Julius Randle and all these other guys are now out because they were just traded for Giannis.
That's kind of my point. Like, I think that the Conley trade was solely to set up a bigger move over the next couple of days. And I don't want to bet them overnight because I don't know if I'll pick the wrong day where they look like the Utah Jazz tonight. I know they won the game, but they only have 6 active players on the roster, and you're just stuck. So I'm not going to play this game until I know for certain who's actually playing, not to mention the Ant injury that you said before. So I'm going to pass. But I think Toronto being favored could, in theory, have something to do with 1, Ant being injured, and 2, Minnesota still reinventing its roster. So I guess it's Toronto, but pass. Because I don't know what Minnesota is going to look like 12 hours from now.
Great. I like Toronto. Great points. You laid it out perfectly. I have nothing else to add. 223.5 is total.
I don't know who's playing, but I guess I'm on the under. So
you just gotta assume and just hope Toronto has that good defensive game.
That, and you hope Gobert's not in the trade, so at least he's playing defense. It's good enough.
Okay, New Orleans on the road, going to play the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks are on the second leg of the back-to-back.
Yeah, they won a game. Good for them. They won a game.
Nobody Portis either.
Yeah.
Pelicans laying 4.5, 222.5 is the total.
You can play the drop for this if you want to. I think this game is worthy of it, isn't it?
18-29.
I'll play it.
11
These
games.
teams are horrible. Giannis is still not playing. I have to play it.
Go ahead. So we'll see who's playing on that side of the ball. Wow, Hunter Dickinson is on the injury report for the Pelicans.
You need bodies, you know. He spent a long time in college, but you need bodies.
I mean, yeah, no. Was it New Orleans that was? Yeah, New Orleans was the team that was sneaky good as a favorite. 5-0. 5-0 as a favorite. Insane work, actually, to be 5-0 as a favorite. Give me New Orleans because I just can't trust this Milwaukee Bucks team. And yeah, I should have been on them against that Chicago team, but then like nobody could thought Chicago was doing all these moves today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fade Milwaukee, and they just had a good day. I don't think Milwaukee has it in them, so I'm going with New Orleans here. 5-0 is a favorite.
Yeah, I'm trying to apply a new theory to my betting basketball, I'd say, ideology. Mm-hmm. If you're a bad team, I'm just assuming you cannot win 2 games in a row. The Bucks won a game. Congratulations. I will dare them to win 2 games in a row. I'll go with New Orleans.
Very good point.
This one. However, I'm going to go New Orleans first half because I've been watching the Pelicans in the fourth quarter of some of these games over the last week or so. The second half against Charlotte, they scored more points in the second quarter than the entire second half in their last game. And I live bet Charlotte, so that worked out well for me. But the point is, New Orleans has been abysmal in the fourth quarter of these games. But they were burying Charlotte in the first half. And Charlotte's been good. They've been a good team for the last couple of weeks. I think New Orleans can jump them early. Will they fall apart late? Maybe. I'm not willing to find out. But give me New Orleans first half.
Yeah, I like your thoughts on the New Orleans first half play. It actually might be the thing that Yeah, I think it might be the thing that scares me and scares me with the Pelicans and taking the Pelicans out right here because I'm really all over the let's fade the Bucks after a win, especially in the second leg. I have no faith in Doc in this team.
And they might trade away some pieces besides Giannis for salary matching purposes.
Yep.
So I'll go New Orleans. As it's mentioned by Free Sauce, they have no incentive to tank because they don't have their own draft pick. Shout out to Atlanta. But I do think New Orleans, once again, is a team that I still don't trust down the stretch of games. But they've put together some decent first halves. And I think that's good enough for me. So I'll just go with the first half angle instead.
All right. Before we get to the rest of the slate, gotta talk to everybody about Underdog. Went up to 5,000 times your entry. Plus, they have a whole bunch of things going for the big game. You can get choose a player and reveal whether you've unlocked a gimme pick, followed by a boost builder tied to the big game. So make sure you go check it out. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $75 in bonus funds when you use that promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Super easy to sign up, and you can run predictions off of the house models that Rhythm has, or use your own models. Play around with the sliders and figure out what you like and create your own data-driven models. Get data-driven picks over there at Rhythm and go premium with promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off. Just download Rhythm and use that promo code SGPN25. All right, Boston on the road. Going to play the Houston Rockets. Rockets laying 6-16.5 is the total. Let's see here. For the Celtics, Chris Boucher. I don't think Vucevic is going to play.
I'm assuming he won't. Usually players miss the first game for physicals and all that stuff.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, they speed through that stuff. They could be doing that right now. And
they played today. They beat Dallas, so we'll see how they look on a back-to-back. Not really any travel, though, because they're already in Texas.
Boucher's was out for personal reasons today. We'll see what he does.
I forgot he was on Boston. Just being honest. I forgot Boucher was on the team.
He just scored a basket at the end of the Kings game because he had just
and then Westbrook got pissed.
And Westbrook got pissed. That's how I found out he was on the team. Durant is probable with an ankle injury. We've got Dorian Finney-Smith is out.
I mean, it's the Udoka revenge game, right? I got to go Houston.
And, I mean, Şengün is going to eat them alive. Pause. I think Capella off the bench could play a role. Like,
Amon athletically can give the guards problems.
Yeah. I think this is a horrible matchup for the Celtics.
I think I agree.
I mean, they're losing the battle on the inside. They're probably going to lose the battle with the guards as well. You're kind of just hoping Jalen Brown carries you. What was this the last time? 128, 101? Jesus Christ. I don't see it. What's the case for Boston here?
Case for Boston is that we've seen Houston just struggle offensively in some spots late in games. So you could argue the spacing will be a problem. Boston maybe ramps it up defensively and goes on some runs to keep the game close. I don't like laying points with Houston, but I think matchup-wise, this is a pretty good spot for the Rockets. And unlike Boston, they did not play on Tuesday. So I like the scheduling spot. I like Houston in this game, but I understand if people are afraid of trusting Houston laying points because I hate doing it. But I agree with you. I think it's a bad matchup for Boston, especially if Vucevic doesn't play. They lost Simons, who we know is a solid bench player for that team. So a little bit of depth scoring is gone. We'll see what happens, but I'll go Houston.
It's just like you're playing this game and you're getting destroyed by Şengün on the inside for however many minutes, and then when you think you're getting relief, here comes Clint Capella. And now you got to worry about that problem on the glass and that problem trying to slow him down if they start feeding him on a pick and roll.
I'll push back a little bit on that last point. I think Capella might be washed, but I get what you're trying to say.
No, but in a 10-minute spurt, like
he can give you
minutes,
7 rebounds in 10 minutes in the right spot.
Yeah, like that's gonna mean something in this one. That's the whole reason why that slows Boston down in games. How they're not able to slow down the inside, and then the fact of Houston is good defensively, and they have the length to really mess with the guards. We talked about Amon right there, Taureus, and all those guys. Like, I don't know. I don't see it. I think that you're just literally hoping that Jaylen Brown carries you in this game to even be in it close. I think it's going to go a lot like the first meeting where Houston runs away with it. This is a spot I say lay it with Houston. Houston -6. If the line is telling you why this Boston team has been that good, their records are basically identical, and you're telling me that they're playing this game at Houston laying 6, it's because Houston dogged them out last time, and we know why they dogged them out. It's because Houston has a great matchup here. Houston.
Yeah, for the record, by the way, Houston is 17-4 at home, so they're also really good in their home arena.
Yeah, lay to 6. 216.5.
This one's pretty tricky because Boston only scored 101 in the first meeting, and I think that actually can happen again because I do like Houston's defense. I'm going to go over. I mean, the first game, Houston scored about 130 against this team, and I don't know why that can't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Boston can get hot from 3. I think that Houston, once again, can bully them on the inside. Durant's coming back to help out the offensive firepower. I think that it's a good matchup for Houston. But at the same point, Boston can still get hot and hit some shots. So I'll go with the over in this
game. Houston team's got over for me.
Okay. I like that too.
Yep, 111.5. I think they can get to 111.5.
Yeah.
Okay, see, on the road. I'm going to play the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs are catching 2.5 here. I mean, we just don't learn our lesson. Well, I mean, I guess okay. So.
Well, to be fair, the Thunder did smack them last time, but the Spurs have still been better in the head-to-head.
226 is the total injury report. And J-Dub still out for this one. J. Will is a questionable. We've got.
I see Castle's questionable.
J. Will is 100% playing. This is Aji Mitchell who is out. Sohan, yeah, questionable tag on Castle, and Sohan is out. So
OKC's played better lately. They buried Denver. They buried Orlando today. But This team, you never know when they're going to fully try. You're assuming in this game they should because the Spurs have kind of been viewed by many as the kryptonite for this team, whether that's fair or foul. So I think this is going to be a hell of a game. For starters, I think this will be a very close game throughout. Now, I do like how the Spurs have played recently, too. A nice comeback against Houston. They lost to Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte's been good. They beat Orlando by 9, but for the most part, they have been kind of alternating wins and losses for the last week or two. But San Antonio at home in that crowd environment, I think, should look pretty sharp. I think I'll go Spurs, but I'm not going to bet this. I like how OKC is playing, but Wemby defensively has started to ramp it back up again, where he's walking into 5 blocks a game, etc. I think he can do a lot against this OKC team, so I'll go for the Spurs.
Yeah, if I take the Spurs, I would play it first half and just save myself any second half heartbreak that they, have done to me in the past. But other than that, yeah, it just has been alternating wins and losses, and you just got to assume that they're going to get a back-to-back win here. And they've had OKC's number, basically this entire year. I think the last game was frustration. A lot of OKC at home able to carry the runs as well. I think it'll be different on the road. I'm with San Antonio. They really had the number.
Yeah. I might not bet this, but I'll be watching this game guaranteed. I think this is must-watch television.
Yeah. 226.5 or 226 is total under.
I think this one's tricky. I think I agree. So far this season, 3 of the 4 meetings have gone under this number. In fact, 3 of the 4 have landed below 221. So I'll go with the under with you. I think you can make an argument that if the Spurs win it, maybe they end up just going crazy from 3, or they just score a bunch of points. But I'll go under. I think it's going to be a playoff atmosphere in San Antonio. Give me an absolute war physically. So I like the under.
Yeah, this is one of those ugly San Antonio games where it's like 105, 101.
I think it'll be a little bit more than that, but same idea. I mean, I see it being in the like 112, 108 type range. I see around 220, so I think this number's too high.
Memphis on the road. We're going to play the Sacramento Kings. Scott, do you mind?
I'll do it. It's fine.
Thank you.
I have to just rewind so it plays from the start because they've earned the entire drop here.
Yes, a combined 31 in math and public, 68.
It's not good.
Ugh, man. Horrible work. Yeah, good luck figuring out who's playing for Memphis in this game after everything that transpired today. And then the Sacramento Kings. You have Sabonis. Questionable back injury.
He also might be traded, so we'll see what happens there.
We know Keegan's out, yeah. There's a doubtful tag on Scottie Pippen Jr. There's a questionable tag on Santi Aldama. And then, yeah, all those players in the trade more than likely aren't playing.
But there might be a couple, who knows. I will point out that DeAndre Hunter is expected to play for Sacramento.
Yes. Sorry. I'm
not laying points with Sacramento. I don't give a damn. This is a pure tank ball principle game. I am not laying points with Sacramento.
Okay, so Ty Jerome, Jalen Wells, G.G. Jackson, Coward, Santi Aldama. Can that? Well, you know what?
They beat Minnesota last game.
No, do you remember when? I don't know if it was you or Lonte. We were breaking down a Memphis and Sacramento game, and I said, "Sacramento, have some heart. You're playing this Memphis team. They are laying points against you, and there was nobody playing. I think it was effectively the same roster." And Memphis came out and smacked them. It wasn't, I think it was like 130 to like 90 something.
Yeah, for the record, they played twice this season. They were both in November. So Memphis at home won 137 to 96.
Yes.
And they played again 10 days later in Sacramento, and Memphis won 115-107. So Memphis is 2-0 against this team.
So this is the starting lineup of that game for Memphis. Vince Williams Jr., Zach Edey, Jalen Wells, Cowherd, and Santi Aldama. There was no Jaren Jackson Jr., there was no John Morant.
He scored 137.
GG played some, Jock Lando played some, Contra played some, Cam Spencer played some.
137 with that lineup is absolutely crazy.
All right, Memphis, take the points. It's a horrible game.
I mean, I was looking for props. I want to tie Jerome props, but they don't exist. So whenever those drop, sure, sign me up.
JT said it's Ty Jerome's fault. Everybody getting traded.
He's in heaven right now. He's just going to get all the shots he wants. They paid him money. He missed the entire season. He's playing 20 minutes a game, and he's going to take 20 shots.
Over 230.5. That's actually probably way too short.
I'll go over.
Who's playing defense in this game?
Even Jaren Jackson Jr., even if you don't like him, at least he was a rim protector.
That is a lot. That is lock worthy. 230.5 is way too short of a line. I think by the time this game tips off, this is at least 3 points better.
I have to look up who their center is. Who's their center?
Who?
Memphis.
Santi Aldama? They don't have one.
I thought Aldama's injured.
No, he's questionable.
Okay, he's questionable. So according to ESPN's really bad when it comes to updated depth charts. Just going to read off who's listed for the center position for Memphis. Aldama, Kyle Anderson, Brandon Clark, Zach Edey. All of them O-tag because they all might not play. So I don't know who their center is. Somebody call up PJ Tucker. They don't have any centers at all for this game. So Sabonis might walk into 25 rebounds. So keep an eye out for Sabonis props if he ends up playing in this game. But the Grizzlies have nobody at center for this game. Give me the over.
That's lock worthy. That might be my lock worthy. That good chance. And we're close to the end. Now I got television on that. Cleveland on the road going to play the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers catching 1.5. 223 is the total. Well, surely they're not playing in this game, right?
Well, I was going to ask you in general because I don't know if this is a coincidence or not. They had to have been intentionally trying to get this trade done before this game, correct? There's no way that's a coincidence.
They were it was probably what, hey, we're about to play this. We're already interested in this. Let's get this done.
We're going to be in the same place anyway. It makes the trip easier. We save money on airfare. It's fine.
They probably was having, probably both were having conversations like, hey, let's go to dinner. Talk about it.
Makes sense.
In person.
There's no way this is a coincidence, though. They just traded away James Harden. They play this team the game after. I just don't believe that's a coincidence.
Yeah, no shot they're playing in this game, so. I mean, who means more?
I mean, it's got to be Harden, right? Because Garland hasn't been playing. Right? I mean, Garland's barely played for the entire season.
Yeah. I don't really trust either one.
I don't either. But I'll go Cleveland. I still think they have a better supporting cast. At this point, at least. We'll see if Harden plays or not. Garland, I don't know when he's ever going to play. I think there's a chance Harden actually plays in this game. Because he was going to be in the building anyway. So I think it makes sense if he ends up playing for Cleveland against his old team. So I think Harden maybe plays, but I think Mitchell and Kawhi are going to just go at it. And we'll see what happens in the Allen versus Zubac matchup. But I'll go Cleveland. Why not? I wonder if morale for the Clippers is going to be a little bit shot. Since they were terrible to start, they wanted a massive run to become decent. And then their second best player quit in the middle of the season. So I kind of wonder if morale is going to be low for the Clippers. I mean, the Cavs got Schroeder. They got a couple of guys a couple days ago. So they should be playing in this game. I think Cleveland on paper is the better roster. So I guess I'll take Cleveland in this game.
I'll take Cleveland just because I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers weren't done making moves.
That could happen too.
No other reason. I don't have any other reason. That's all I have. I'm just not certain they're done making moves. Frustrating stuff, man.
Yep.
Ugly games. All right. Lock, dog, underdog. Lock. Memphis Kings over 230.5. Let's go ahead and bank that. Dog. I really want to take Houston in some way.
Do you think they jump them? You can do halftime, full time.
What does that pay? That's not actually
That I can look up. Hang on a second.
Hold on, I'm looking it up too.
Okay. Halftime, full time. I see. It's minus 130. So pass.
Yeah. Okay. So then I will. Okay, this is what I would do. Because I don't think the Pelicans are going to blow it to the point where, it'll be a loss. So give me the Pelicans on the money line, parlayed with the Rockets laying for 5.5, because I think the Rockets are going to beat them pretty decisively. And one way, shape, or form, Pelicans are going to get the win. So let's just go ahead and put the money line there. So that little 2-pick parlay plays plus 184.
All right. For my lock, I actually talked myself into it more as I thought about it. I am going to go with the under in the Spurs Thunder game at 226.5. 3 of the 4 games have landed below 221. We think this is pure playoff atmosphere. A couple ways to get there. OKC last game against San Antonio allowed less than 100. So either defense is really good. They can clamp the other team. Or both teams are really good, and you get a playoff atmosphere, and it's just an absolute rock fight. As you said, like 105 to 101. This could turn into a very ugly game. Give me the under, 226.5 as my lock for the show. For my dog, I think I'm going to go back to the Pelicans first half, actually, because I do think the Pelicans are in a good spot to jump on this Bucks team. I still can't stand them full game because they've been really bad in fourth quarters, but I will go with the – I don't even know if the first half line's available, though. I thought about an alt line for the Pelicans, but I don't know if I'm going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Ty Jerome stuff. That's not available, so I can't take that. That sucks, too, because I thought that was going to be a good option. Is there a halftime? No, it's minus 105 for halftime full-time on New Orleans. Yeah, I don't have many options. I don't really want to take an alt spread on the Knicks, but I'm also kind of backed into a corner here. You know what? I'll pick this team to find a way. It's going to be dangerous, but you know what? I think the Kings are atrocious. And at least Memphis tries in their games. Extremely degen, but I'll do it. Give me.
I mean, I got Pelicans money line in mind, so.
Yeah, well, you have a parlay there. Give me the Grizzlies a minus 2.5 at plus 142. I'll take the team with no centers who actually try. But once again, I wanted Jerome. He wasn't available. And I wanted to go for something involving the Pelicans first half. I didn't have options. So give me a Grizzlies alt spread minus 2.5 plus 142.
All right. Underdog. Let's see. I did agree with your Sabonis take. So Sabonis higher 12.5 rebounds.
If he plays, I like Sabonis. Because he's been rumored to go to the Raptors, and we'll see if he ends up going, but who knows?
I think we can go a Ty Jerome PRA of 22.5, or we can just take points, but that is it.
No, let's do PRA, because they don't have any centers anyway, so I want the assist attached to it.
All right, so Ty Jerome PRA higher, that's 2. And then where else do we go? We can go
You want Şengün against Boston?
No, we can't play that.
Go.
That would have been a great third play, though. Would have been a great third play.
I'm just looking what is potentially an option. Sorry, just looking around. I mean,
Wow.
did you want anything for like Zion or something against Milwaukee?
I mean, is there any interest in like Kawhi or like something in
I'm
that
fine with
Clippers? Anything in that Clippers and Cleveland game? I guess we can look at.
I don't know if anything's listed for that yet, though, because I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a bunch of stuff listed for that game.
Oh, it is.
That's the only game that I mean. Also, Toronto and Minnesota. But
Okay.
I think that's an
What is
under type of game.
what is Kawhi PRA?
Kawhi,
Because I've actually been targeting his RA when Harden doesn't play, and it's actually pretty good.
37.5.
You want to go for it?
So what's that? Kawhi's got 25, 8.
25, 8, and 6.
Yeah. All right. I can buy it. Kawhi Leonard higher 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Ty Jerome higher 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And Domantas Sabonis, just the rebounds, higher 12.5. Put that in Underdog, shake it up, and you're going to get 6x $100. Get you $600 over there at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
Not really. A fun episode. Once again, a lot of random trades that happen, so we'll see what else is in store for the next couple of days. Besides that, though, not really. Check out the show again tomorrow.
Yep. All right. Chat was booming. Appreciate everybody rocking with us. He's at Reichel Radio. I'm at really well __. Make sure you guys follow on X at SGPN NBA on X, youtube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast. And there we go. Oh, 5-star rating review wherever you get your podcast. And with that, that is it. Nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of hitting the podcast. Just going to